Before I start, I feel like I should let something very clear. I absolutely love Ellen. We've been living together for about 3 years now, but have known each other for our whole lives. In fact, we were childhood friends. And I know this may sound like a fairy tale to some people, but it truly felt like we were always destined to be together. Even after graduation, when we started dating other people, it only truly felt right when we were with each other. So I don't know what took me so long to ask her out, but I'm really glad I did. We had the same taste in music, movies, and even food. We laughed at the same dumb jokes and know exactly how to comfort each other in times of need. She's the kindest, most sensual, and loving girl I've ever met. We even been talking about our plans for marriage and how we would like to have kids of our own. That's why it hurts so much on how it just went terrible all of a sudden in just 4 nights. I would also like to preface that Ellen doesn't have much of a family other than me, and some very distant aunts that she never met and doesn't even know that their names. I was born in a big family with 4 siblings and plenty of cousins. They were always visiting and even helping out when we got in trouble. Ellen has none of that. She doesn't have siblings, and her father was an alcoholic, an abusive freak that died when she was young. Her mother was a very kind and inspiring person that took care of the family by herself for many years, and almost a second mother to myself. So when she passed away last year, it hurt us both for a long time. But Ellen stayed strong. She's not the type to let her feelings easily surface, so you gotta be a lot more perceptive to get what she truly feels. I used to pride myself in being capable of that. I feel like I knew her better than I knew myself. That's why this is all so strange and frankly terrifying. We were sleeping in bed and I was dreaming. I don't really remember what it was about, but for some reason I'm sure of it. Until I heard her voice very close to my ear say, knock, 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 knock. She was caressing my hair gently while sitting in the bed looking below at me. I slowly opened my eyes, groggy from sleep. Hey, what is it, baby? She kept looking at me, fixated, and repeated, knock, 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 knock. I glanced at the digital clock on the top dresser, 3:27 a.m. I had work in only a few hours. What is it, Ellen? She paused. Please answer the joke, dear. Knock, knock, knock. Fine. I accepted, mostly because I was expecting some kind of surprise. Ellen wasn't the type to do what she was doing for no reason. Who's there? Her smile opened up as she answered, not me, so don't answer the door. I was looking at her dumbfounded. What was that supposed to mean? Is that it? Is that the joke? Yes, she said, laying on the couch and covering herself with a blanket. Thank you for answering. Weirdo, I answered, closing my eyes and going back to sleep. Next morning, things went as usual. I only remember the strange conversation while I was alone in the bathroom brushing my teeth. I wasn't even sure if it had truly happened or it was just a weird dream. So we had breakfast together and she was acting normal, reading something aloud from a fashion magazine. Frankly, I wasn't paying too much attention, so I took the opportunity to ask about last night. Initially, she didn't seem to know what I was talking about, then fixated her eyes on me, and the same smile from last night crossed her face. Briefly, and I knew it wasn't just a dream. She told me it wasn't anything of importance and stopped paying attention when I asked more inquisitively. And even though I shouldn't, I gave up. I had work and other matters to attend to, and just brushed off the weird event thinking it wouldn't happen again. The following night, I woke up to her voice. Knock, knock. A pause. Knock. What is it now? I said. Ellen, what are you doing? Knock, knock, knock. She repeated. This time she wasn't even touching me. She's just sitting in bed looking at me with the same smile. but her eyes seemed larger and she blinked in longer intervals. I looked at the clock, once again 3:27 a.m. Ellen, come on, what is it? I gotta work in a few hours. Can't have the luxury of waking me up in the middle of the night to answer knock jokes. Knock, knock, knock. This is getting creepy, you know. I'm not sure if this is some gag you've been doing, but I don't like it. Answer. Knock, knock, knock. I sighed, but also let some small laugh escape. It was creepy, of course, but she was also my Ellen, so it didn't bother me as much as it should. Fine, who the fuck is there? I answered in a playful tone. Not me, so don't answer the door. For some reason, I felt a chill down on my spine. It was the same answer as before, and I still didn't get what it meant. But the way she said it with a strange, monotone voice contrasted well with her smile, and the fact I had no idea what she meant by that. What does that mean? I asked. I really don't get it. She smiled and went back to sleep. I felt a throb in my heart. Was it the same? Next day we talked about what's happening. She was very evasive with my questions, and I barely got her to say anything. It was almost as if she couldn't talk about it, which was very strange considering we talked pretty much about everything. I told her I needed to be well rested for work, something she should understand well, and wasn't liking her little gag every night. She just nodded. I decided not to press further, as I didn't want to hurt her feelings, and I had to attend to work. When I got back home, we had dinner, watched a movie, and went to bed. Knock, knock. I opened my eyes faster this time. In fact, I barely got any sleep. I just knew she was gonna do it again. I kept thinking about the whole time and glanced at the clock, 3:27 a.m. Knock, knock. I thought about ignoring her, just pretending I was asleep so she wouldn't wake me up, so I closed my eyes slowly, hoping that she hadn't seen me opening them in the first place, and stayed quiet. Knock, knock. She continued. She didn't stop. I regulated my breathing, but she kept going. Knock, knock. I'm not answering your fucking joke, Ellen. Stop it. Knock, knock. I ignored, but she kept going. She had never been this insistent with anything before. I tried to ignore her, but it was just getting on my nerves. And frankly, I felt scared. Why was Ellen doing this? Why every night at the same exact time down to the minute? Why wouldn't she just let me sleep until I answered? Knock, knock. I got up in a sudden movement. God damn it, Ellen. I wasn't ready for discussion, but when I finally glanced at her, it was as if the strength was drained from me. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't blinking. She just staring right at me, fixated like an animal, and her mouth was moving slowly, and she didn't stop. Knock, knock. I didn't know how to react or what expression I had when I saw her, but my heart skipped a beat. It was terrifying, as if her gaze froze me in place. 1,000 yards there. Knock, knock. Who's there? I asked, feeling as if it was the only way out of this nightmare. Not me, so don't answer the door, she said weakly. Ellen slowly closed her eyes and laid down. I kept staring at her while she fell into what seemed to be a deep sleep. I got up and left. I walked downstairs and sat down at the couch in my living room, staring at the night sky outside and absorbing the quiet of the neighborhood. My heart was beating so fast, and it didn't slow down. I was too scared to sleep in the same room as my girlfriend, all because of a fucking knock-knock joke. But it was all unnatural. I thought about calling someone. I thought about it being just some kind of sleep-related issue, such as some type of sleepwalking. But it didn't make any sense. I felt so tired. And decided that early in the morning I will call an old friend who's a psychologist and get the opinion of a professional. Something was wrong with Ellen. I stayed in the couch as day rose, and once again Ellen woke up. She was acting normal again, even asked me why I wasn't in bed. I didn't answer. In fact, I didn't speak to her and simply left for work. She seemed very upset, but I wouldn't do anything about it. Once I got to work, I called my friend, told him everything that was happening in much detail as I'm describing now. He didn't seem worried as I figured, but we agreed to make an appointment for next week. Now I just needed to convince Ellen to come with me. I received plenty of text messages from her. She seemed very worried, sad, even confused. She apologized a lot, and it broke my heart a little. I felt bad. I shouldn't have, but I answered. I made her promise it wouldn't happen again. I also told her about the appointment. She reluctant but agreed to go with me. So we made up. This was Ellen's. After all, the girl I knew ever since I was 6 years old. The woman I loved. And that had taken care of me for years. And as much as that strange behavior creeped me out, she wasn't doing anything particularly frightening or even dangerous. So far, for a brief while, I convinced myself I should give her another chance. When I returned from work, we stayed together. She even prepared my favorite meal. Ellen was acting as gentle and caring as I always remembered. I stepped with her in our bedroom, even though I was reluctant. Knock. I couldn't believe it. She promised me she wouldn't do it. Knock. I gazed at the clock. 3:27 a.m. Always. Knock. I was in on my stomach and I couldn't see her face. In fact, I didn't even bother to look at her. I was feeling more sad than scared. At that point, sad that she had broken her word. Knock. Who's there? I answered, determined to just go back to sleep. Not me, so don't answer the door. I stayed quiet and closed my eyes. I just hoped I'll be able to handle it until the appointment next week. To my surprise, I was able to sleep. Probably because I hadn't been able to rest since last night. The following morning, I went back to not saying anything to Ellen. Only very limited response. I was expecting her to act the same as yesterday, trying to apologize, but she didn't. She mostly didn't say anything, almost as she just had accepted it. She also looked tired, or at least a bit weak. I went to work, but I couldn't stop thinking about her. Didn't receive any messages either. Once I got back, we had the most silent dinner I ever had in my life. She barely ate anything. I decided to let her have the bedroom and sleep on the couch. I wasn't sure if it would stop her, but I held on to hope that she wouldn't go downstairs, only to tell me the same knock-knock joke again. I covered myself with a blanket, shaked off the uneasy feeling and tired to sleep. I had a deep sleep without dreams. Felt like I was lost in darkness. Then I heard breathing. Opened my eyes to see Ellen standing above me, looking at me with her big, fixated eyes and dilated pupils. That didn't seem to belong in such completely neutral expression, just watching me sleep. I almost screamed in terror, jumped out of the couch, and her eyes followed me as I stumbled through the dark room, creating distance between us. For a moment, I was able to glance at the clock above the table. 3:27 a.m. Ellen, what are you doing? I asked, desperate. But she didn't move. In fact, she didn't say anything. She just stared at me as if I was made of glass, and she couldn't see right through me. Then I heard a knock on the front door. Instinctively, I looked in that direction. It was followed by another knock and another. Someone was almost pounding at the door. I glanced back at Ellen. She was still staring at me, slowly. I got close to the door. She didn't move. The pounding continued. Who's there? It stopped. Then I heard a voice. John, can you hear me? Open the door, please. John, please open the door. I froze in place. The voice kept calling me, but I couldn't believe it. It was Ellen's voice coming from the other side. But it couldn't. I beg you, John. Open the door. It's serious. She's not me, I swear. She's not me. Slowly I turned my head to look at Ellen, standing from the couch. She was looking at me with the same fixated eyes and a terrible wide grin across her face. The pounding continued. John, open the door, please. You have to trust me. I stayed still, not knowing what to do. I don't remember what happened after that. I just woke up in my bedroom. The digital clock indicates it's 4:21 a.m. Ellen isn't by my side. I'm completely alone. I'm trembling uncontrollably. I don't know what's going on. I don't remember what happened after I saw her terrible grin. I don't know if I opened the door. I tried to look for my phone, see if I called the police or at least have someone that I know, but I left it downstairs. All I have is Ellen's laptop, and it's where I'm writing this right now to get some type of advice, because I can't go downstairs. The corridor is dark, very dark, almost as if the shadows were leaning into the room, and I could hear a faint scratching sound coming from below. What should I do? Hi everyone, I'm the owner of this channel, and I'm here to say I'm back again. I don't know, I'm going off and off again on this channel, but I'm gonna see if I try posting again way more than I want to. Yeah, bye.